All, welcome to Programmer's World. Myself Harish. If you are first time watching the videos in our channel, then I will give a short intro of it. So this channel completely deals with learning programming languages simple and efficiently. So if you are here to learn various programming languages in simple and efficient way, do subscribe to our channel and watch the videos and enjoy it. So let's get into the video. In this video, what we are going to see is we are going to take a look into the list data type. So in the previous videos we saw about the detailed description on the string data type, and the next data type which we are going to look into detail is the list data type. So basically what list is like, if we want to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity where insertion order is preserved and duplicates are allowed, then we need to go for the data type called as list. So in the list data type, insertion order would be preserved, duplicate objects are allowed, and heterogeneous objects are also allowed, which means you can give string and integer combined too. It's not that if you are declaring list, in the list we need to specify only if specifying integers means 10, 20, 30 like that. We can specify 10, 20, Harish. So heterogeneous objects are also allowed. So that is about the list data type basically, and it is dynamic in nature. It is not like it is static. We can increase we can add elements in the list. We can remove the elements from the list. So the size is not fixed. It is dynamic in nature. So based on a requirement, we can increase or decrease the size. So basically, so in the list data type, how would be denoting is the elements in square brackets. And with a comma separator. The elements should be separated with a comma separator, and if all the elements should be enclosed within square brackets, whereas in tuple it would be like a curly brackets, and for dictionary it would be flower brackets, so like that. So list we represent it with the form of square brackets. So we can differentiate the duplicate elements by using index, and we can preserve the insertion order also by using index. So indexing would be playing a major role here in list data type to get an element, to insert an element at a particular index. So everything index plays a major role. So in Python, both type of indexes are supported, as we all know. Both positive and negative indexes are supported. So positive indexes go from starting from left to right, and negative indexes would be going from right to left. So I have just shown a sample example here. So I'm having the list 10, A, B, 20, 30, 10. So how this would be stored in by the Python virtual machine in the object memory is 10, A, B, 20, 30, and the index of 10 would be A, and the negative index would be -6. So negative index would be starting from right hand side, and the positive index would be starting from left hand side. And then list objects are mutable in nature. That is, it is not that it is immutable. We cannot change the content of the list. We can change the content, as we can add or remove the elements of the list. It is mutable. Okay, these are all some of the basic points to know for list data type. And then how to create list objects. There are various approaches to create list objects. One is creating empty list, and another is creating a list with the values that we already define. If you know the values, we can define it directly, or else getting the dynamic input from the user, or using the list method and using split method. We'll see one by one the different approaches. So first is the empty list. Empty list is nothing but I'll just show the interpreter. L equal to simply empty, like this I can denote it. So when I try to print the L, it will be coming as an empty list only. So no elements should be present. If you know the elements predefined, then what I can do, I can place it inside the square brackets 10, 20, 8, 29. So now when I print the L, all the elements should be listed out. So this is the second approach. And then the third approach is the dynamic input using eval method. I already discussed about the eval method. So the eval method would be accepting a collection like tuple or range or dictionary, like this it would be accepting, and it would be printing its respective type. So I'll just show. I'm opening a notepad editor. A equal to, usually to get an input from the user, we will be using the input method. So input, enter the values. So I will be using eval method here. So what this eval method would be doing, it would be converting the input that we are giving to the respective type. The Python virtual machine dynamically denote what type. It's not that we need to give only list, but we cannot give normal string or integer and all like that we cannot give. I'll just show example. So I will be printing the type of A, and then I will be printing A. So I'll just show it. So I will be opening test.py. So enter the values. So first, if I give something simply string like Harish, what it will be throwing is name Harish is not defined. We cannot declare a normal string or integer value inside the eval method. It will not accept it and it will be throwing an error. Suppose. Now what I am doing is I will be declaring a list 10, 20, 30 like this. So this is how we denote the list. So now we will be getting the first statement. What I tried to print was type of A. So the type is of class list and we get the elements listed out. The second statement was print of A. And then it's not that we can give only list inside eval, we can give a tuple also. So 10, 20, 30, this should be coming as a class tuple. The Python virtual machine would take it dynamically what type we are giving when we are executing the eval method. We can give range also like that. So I'll show how to give the range. So if I give simply range of 10, so it will be printing class of range 0 to 10. So like this we can give inside the eval method. So this is how we can get the dynamic input from the user for creating list object. And next one is list method. So we are having a method called as list. So what it would be doing is, I will show the example. So it will be accepting, it would be requiring to have an iteratable object. So list of, so you can see list of either an empty list. If you don't say anything, it will be an empty list, or else if you want means you should give the iteratable object only. Okay, so I'll just show it. List of this type of A. First I will save this. I will run the code. So it is of class list and an empty list. Now here what I will be doing is, I can give anything. I can give tuple, range, like that I can give. So I will give tuple first 10, 20. So this would be converted to list. We are using tuple only inside. We are using curly brackets and using tuple only defining here. But above that we are defining the list method. So this list method acts as a typecasting. It would be converting the data type which we are giving to the list data type. It will not be converting all the data types. It will be converting only the iteratable data types like range, tuple, dictionary, like this only it would be converting. So if I give, suppose I will show another thing. So if I will be giving range 0, 20, 2, just printing the even numbers I will be taking. So it is a class list and we get the even numbers presented. So, but if I give anything like list of suppose arrays like this or 10 anything. In that case, we would be getting the splitted up. String would be splitted up because string it would be splitting up as each character. So we will be getting HARISH. But in the case of if I give any number list of int, so 10 I am giving. So in this case, what would be having? So we get an error. Int object is not iterable. So the list method accepts only iteratable objects. So another case is if I give like this. Okay, if I am giving string only, but I am giving multiple elements. So Harish, Balaji, like this. So whether this would be accepting means it would not be accepting because list expects only one argument at most. We are providing two arguments here and the list method accepts only one argument. So we will be getting an error. We can declare a single string, but we cannot declare multiple strings here. Okay. So this is the functionality of this list method. And then the last approach for creating the list objects is using split function. So this split function is simple one. So we already saw the split function. So what we would be doing is it would be splitting up the string into list object. So A equal to Harish is a programmer. Like this I am giving, and I am going to split it with space. The default for split method is space. So list equal to A dot split. So it will be splitting into each word. So based on this, so if you want, we can specify any separator, comma or dot like that. If you don't specify anything, it will be taking as a space as the default separator. So based on the separator, it will be splitting up into individual elements. So type of list and print list. Save this code, and I will be running. Okay, so I'll run it. So we get class list. Harish is a programmer. So like this, we can split up the elements. So these are all the various ways by which we can create the list objects. And then next, what we are going to see is accessing the elements of the list. So we can access the elements of the list using there are two approaches here, using index, or else we can use the slice operator. We'll see one by one. So using index is simple. The index, as I said, it follows from 0. It follows positive index also, and also supports negative index. Positive index is meant for left to right, negative index is meant for right to left. So if I am having the list 10, 20, 30, 40, and in the list if I am printing this, the 10 would be holding the positive index 0 and the negative index would be -4. So this is the representation. This we know that. One thing to be noted is if we print the list of 0, we will be getting the element present at 0 index. If you give -4, we will be getting 10. If you give -1 means list of -1, we will be getting 40. But if we give an index value that is not present in the list that we have defined, then we will be getting an error like index error, list is index out of range. So this is a simple approach where using index we can access the elements of the list. And the next is using the slice operator. This slice operator we already saw with the string data type. The same applies here for list also. The same syntax: start, stop and step. So start would be indicating the index where the slice has to start. The default value is 0. It's not mandatory, we need to define start. And stop is also not mandatory, we need to define. Even step is also not mandatory. So the stop would be indicating the index where the slice has to end. Default would be the length of the list. Step would be the increment value. Default value is 1. So it's the same thing, nothing too differently we are going to do it. So I'll just show it a simple sample example using slice. Okay, so I am splitting up the. Okay, let me have a list. We'll be having list range 20. So in the range 20, what I'll be doing is I'm having the type of A. So now what I need to achieve is using the slice operator. So how I will be printing is A. Start I will not be specifying, end also I will not be specifying. I will just give 2 here. So if we give just 2 here, what I will be getting is, okay, first let me show what start and then. I will start from the 0 element and I will be printing. So range of 20 means we will be having till 0 to 19, 20 elements. So 0 to, first I will be giving 15. So incrementing by 2. So we get 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The list of elements incremented by 2. So it's not mandatory as I said, we can specify start and end based on our requirement. So I'll save it and run it again. So we get the entire list, the even numbers present in the list. So this is how we can use the slice operator. So next is traversing the elements of the list. So traversing means accessing each and every element sequentially. So when we are trying to access each and every element of a list sequentially, that process is known as traversing or traversal. So that we can achieve in 2 approaches, using while loop and using for loop. I will just show how to achieve it using while loop and using for loop. So first let's see how to achieve the using while loop. So I have given list of range of 20. So I will be getting 20 numbers in the list. How to print using while loop means how to access this. First, while I less than, okay, I'll just define I equal to 0. I less than length of A. So I am getting the length of A. So length of A will be 20 elements. So I will be printing each and every element. I am starting from 0. Why I am printing less than is, when it comes to I equal to 20 means the 20 index will not be present in A, because length of A is 20, but the index will be from 0 to 19 only. If you want means we can start with 1, but I am just specifying with 0 as, because the list index starts with 0. So now what I will be doing is simply print L of I. Oh sorry, A of I. So I will be printing A of I. So let's see whether we get the desired output or not. test.py. Okay, we get it as infinite loop. So it's just keep on iterating. Why? Because we have not I missed a statement, it's my mistake only. I have forgotten to increment the I value. I plus equal to 1. So I'll be incrementing it. Sorry, it's my mistake. So now I'll be running it py test.py. We get the list of elements in using while loop. So using for loop also we can achieve this. How we can achieve is simply for I or x in A, print x. So that's all. So we get the list of elements. So using for loop we can achieve it. We can using while loop also we can achieve it. So I have just taken some sample program. I think this I have already shown it. So to print the even numbers in the list. So if we want using for loop to print the even numbers in the list, I can just have an if condition here. If x percentage 2 is equal to 0, then print x. So in this way we get only the even numbers to be printed. So I'll just run the code. So we get the even numbers printed. And then next sample program I wanted to show is to display the elements index wise. So that's also a simple one. So let me have the length of the string n equal to length of a. So I'll get the length of the string. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be getting the length of the list first, and then for x in, what I will be doing, range of n. Why I am giving is, suppose here we are having 20 elements, so length of a would be 20. So range of 20 I will be iterating each. So 0, 1, 2, 3 like that I will be iterating each thing. So like that we can do, or we can use while loop by iterating while I equal to 0, I less than, and increment it. Like that also we can do. So I am showing here for using for loop. So I will be getting, and I will be printing for x in range of n. So we will be getting 0 to 20. Each iteration it would be 4. So x will be holding each value. So 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So the x will be holding the index value. So how to print? That's simple. So we'll just use a print statement. Print a of x, comma, is located at index. Okay, I need to show. I'll show the positive and negative index also. Positive index, comma, x. Okay, comma, and negative index. To print the negative index, what we're doing is comma. So the value of x would be currently 0 in the first iteration. So the 0 will be having an element. So its respective negative index would be x minus n. So x minus n. So 0 minus 20, it will be creating minus 20. So the element would be minus 20 only. So that's why. So for better understanding, if you want, I'll just give a 0 to 10, because negative index start from minus 1 only. So the first element would be starting with 0, the left hand side, and its negative index would be minus 10, because negative index starts from minus 1. So I'll save this and run the code. So 0 is located at a positive index 0 and negative index minus 10. So like that we get for all the elements. So this is some of the sample program that I wanted to show for traversing the elements of the list. So with this we come to an end for this video. There are still more to go. In the next set of video we will be looking into some of the inbuilt functions present in the list, and we are going to see about some of the operators, the mathematical operators, and we are going to see about the aliasing concept also. So like this we are going to see in detail one by one. So I hope you would have liked this video. Please subscribe to our channel and do watch our videos regularly. Enjoy it. Thank you.